Just waiting for our guests to arrive. Looking good, Amit.
How are you, JV? How's it going?
Doing good. All right. We'll wait a few minutes just to wait for our guests to join in, and then we'll get started here. Harold's going to go ahead and give on team a call. So Amit, while we're waiting, uh, tell me, tell us a little bit about, your morning. What did you do? What were some of the habits that you did today to start your day off right?
Thank you, JB, for asking. Well, today was a different sort of morning. I had a flat tire, but us talk about a regular morning. I do love to start my mornings with a little gratitude journal. I try to make it a point, start with some gratitude, start with a little bit of movement, and I think journaling has really helped me a lot in just writing down some thoughts. And the really cool thing about journaling is actually going back and reading those thoughts a week later, a few days later. I know you do some things too in your morning. I think it's kind of a fun activity to kind of work through, a little trial and error and see what works for you. I
Yeah.
think the more you journal, I feel like the more you enjoy it. It takes time and effort, just a little bit of consistency in
Yep.
the process.
Yeah, I think morning routines are probably one of the greatest things you can do for yourself. I know you're big on mindset, right? So how does your morning routine play a factor for mindset for you?
I personally think it's everything. I think I really do believe. I read this Robert Sharma's book, The 5 a.m. Morning, and I really do believe you own your morning, you own your day. It's a fact if you can stay consistent with it. But just going back to that consistency of just those thoughts and that processes in the morning of getting your routine going and starting off your day. Because I know in a normal world, we all know that those thoughts come into our minds. Me personally, my thoughts come early morning, and that's sort of the best time to just clear it out. And they're going to come regardless, but maybe find a way to sort of filter and work through those and change that mindset. I do believe, as you said, mindset's everything. It's really helped me tremendously in business,
Yeah,
personal, and just growth.
yeah. So much to the point where you've launched your personal brand called Fit Mind, right? Which is tell us a little bit about like the three pillars behind your personal brand and why mindset is one of those key ones.
Yeah, thank you. So I've had the chance to really spend almost the past 25 years of just looking at patients and working with them. And I've realized over 25 years the patterns that I see, and I really attribute them to diet, exercise, and mindset that really control our daily activities. And I've seen that every day and day out with patients. So I realized at this point, I really want to take it to a different level, different direction, and really work with patients on teaching them about the importance of mindset. Because then, even in the interactions when we discuss medication, everyone keeps going back to mindset, and it
Yep.
really starts with mindset. It really controls how we think and how we feel. And interesting too, Jason, is at all ages. It's not
Yep.
just a certain age. I really do believe as we deal with patients that are anywhere from 30 to 70 plus, and the older they get, the mindset really starts creeping in, and you see these patterns.
Yep, absolutely. I can totally totally relate to that. So looks like someone's joined in. I'm not sure if it's our guest speaker today. Is Bobbin on the line with us? Bobbin, if you're on and would love to unmute and connect with us, we'd love to chat with you.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing, Bobbin?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. So my name is Jason Benedict. I'm one of the co-founders of RX Ambassadors, and we like to do a live weekly podcast every Friday where we connect with independent pharmacy owners and talk shop, learn about success stories and different ways that pharmacy owners are creating growth and innovation in their pharmacy. So we'd love to ask you a few questions and have you be a guest on our show. So Bob and
Sure.
tell us a little bit about your independent pharmacy owner and where you're located.
I'm located in Patterson, New Jersey.
Okay. Paterson, New
Uh,
Jersey.
yes.
Nice.
So been here for almost now 10 years. Um, things are okay now. It used to be great a few years ago. Uh, can't complain though. But I think the way the industry is going these days, the reimbursements are going down every day. It is going down. Not forget every year. It's like technically going down every year, but
Yep.
always paths in making. Trying to figure out how the new paths would.
Yeah, absolutely. Bob, and so tell us a little bit about your journey into ownership of owning your own independent pharmacy.
Uh, I mean, to be honest, I used to work at the same store. I'm still working at the same store. A few
Uh,
years back, and then eventually ended up getting a share into the pharmacy.
okay. Very
So,
cool.
been here. I used to work here as a staff pharmacist. I would say about 11 years ago, and then started getting a share onto it like from past 4 years, 5 years, I would say.
Nice. So you put in the hard work and the owner of the pharmacy saw that and started offering you some opportunities for growth.
Yeah,
Love it. What do
but
you
whole and soul. Honestly, the owner is not a pharmacist, so he doesn't actually be here all day. Uh,
Okay.
still in and out of the pharmacy.
Yeah, very good. Amit, it's kind of familiar to your story a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, hi Bob.
Hey, hi.
Hi Bob, and my name is Amit. I'm also a pharmacist. I've been in the business for almost 25 years, so very I have a few years on you, but very similar story to yours. I'd love to hear. So you went to school in Jersey itself, or what's? Tell us a little bit
Uh,
about your background.
no. So I did my bachelor's actually from India. I did five
Okay,
years of bachelor's in India. Then I came in this country 2010, I would say 2010. Gave my NAPLEX FPGEC, and then I became a pharmacist 2012. And
gotcha.
that I worked as an internship at one of the hospitals in New Jersey, the UMDNJ, and then
Nice.
worked there for about 6 months. And then I moved over here since 2014, worked here as a staff pharmacist till 2017, 18. Then I got PIC over here.
Very
Nice.
nice. So how has ownership has it changed for you in general in your day-to-day activities, or are you more cognizant of a
To
financial
be,
side of it now? Like, how does it?
I mean, yeah, it has its own perks, but like 3 years ago was a different story. You had some better reimbursements. You've been, if you're on a pharmacy owner to yourself, so you know that. Are you also from New Jersey or you're
Sure.
not from?
So I'm from California, basically.
Oh,
I'm in
oh,
California. Yeah, I
you guys,
so we face. I'm sorry, very sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, I'm sorry. You guys have more strict rules than what we guys have over here. California is like on the top with all the maximized rules and everything. But I don't know how the
Absolutely,
are.
very okay. What are other ways we can generate revenue? Because
That's true because I think a few years ago I started doing 340B. Some patients with 340B that helped us out a little bit. It comes with its challenges. Doing 340B is a very time consuming, I would say. Needs a lot of backhand work to be done. But yeah, that 340B is something which we guys were interested in. We just got a contract with one of the health centers nearby, and that's helped us out a little bit.
Nice.
Oh, that's great. And I'm sure you having that inpatient experience, right, helps out quite a bit too with your out. You have a nice blend of inpatient, which I personally think I don't have a inpatient background. Mine's mostly outpatient, but what things are moving towards now is just whether it's a residency or sort of inpatient model is great. I'm sure for your business.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have so many inpatients, because I'm not located inside the hospital. I am located actually outside the hospital. But what happens is once, the 340B plan, what we guys have is, like, when the patient visits the hospital and they don't have an insurance, so then they are sent to us for a 340B program where, the copays are reduced for the insulins and all other medications. But that's how we guys take the 340Bs.
Sure. No, that's
Robin,
great. Right.
I'd love to ask a little bit about like more about your pharmacy too. We're obviously very interested in highlighting you and the success behind your pharmacy. Tell us a little bit about what sets you apart from some of the local chains that are near you, and how do you leverage your strengths in your independent pharmacy to continue to bring in more patients and customers to your pharmacy?
So one basic thing is this: the location that where I am currently working as is being a pharmacist for almost 40 years. So the previous owner also used to be a pharmacist. So I have generations of patients who are with us. Like, I have the moms with us, the granddaughter, the daughter, everybody's with us. So, and plus, we guys have a good relationship with the patients. So at this point, where it is important to have your relationship with your doctors, like, be in good terms with them, but it is far more important to be in good terms with your patient.
Absolutely.
So,
We know all about the importance of patient engagement and staying in
right.
front of them, and how you can build relationships beyond just beyond a transactional relationship. So what are some of the things that you guys do to build better relationships with your patients?
Now, talking with them, pretty much almost like, most of my patients know me by my first name. If they have any questions, they're straight here. They don't ask the doctor's office. They come straight to us saying, "Hey, listen, Pawan, I have a question. This is what my scenario is. What should I do?" And then, we guide them towards the right path. So that makes a difference. Uh, Other than that, uh, when you have generations, I think, the trust is important. When you have generations coming to you, I think the trust part puts you apart. When you have, like, four generations coming to you, so automatically that tells you, like, hey, listen, I've been going with this pharmacy for four generations. So I have no complaints about this pharmacy. They do their job to the mark. So
Yep. And they bring in their kids, their family, and they refer more people to you.
yeah, they just bring in more patients. Like, hey, listen, this pharmacy is good. Like, hey, listen, I have a patient who's like, hey, you go to this pharmacy. I have issues with my, medication. Some of them are not put together. Sometimes they are not given to me, and all those things. And then, it's the word of mouth. The patient comes like, hey, listen, I go to this pharmacy. I've never had issues with them. They take care of the job properly. The word of mouth spreads, and that's how you guys keep doing the business.
Yeah, I love it. You got to take care of your customers and your patients first, and everything else kind of falls in line,
Yep,
right?
yep, yep. Absolutely true. You take care of your patients, and a good word of mouth is gonna go a long distance.
Yep. So tell us a little bit about like maybe some of the top three services that your pharmacy provides.
Uh, so I am actually also, I don't do like daycares and all stuff, but I do patient packaging. So, like, I have a lot of senior patients. Most of them about the age of 70s, and like that. The geriatric patients. So what I do is I make them pill packs at the pharmacy. So that way, all what happens is they get all their medications at the same time, and it's all ready for them. All they have to do is, okay, just pop up this one. Since it's ready, they just have to pop up the package and saying, hey, this is my morning dose. I'm taken. I'm good. So that's one service which I have really used a lot. It does cost the pharmacy a little bit, but it keeps your patients together.
Yeah, I could imagine that. I think that's a very valuable service that you've created and how you've productized a little bit for your older demographics. So, what's kind of your ideal target demographics at your pharmacy?
I have a mixed population for now, though, but it's like not specific to one demographic. It's open to everyone, but I have more of geriatric patients. I do have a lot more geriatrics since I have generations working with us, being my patient. So most of them are geriatric patients.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you know, a small change in in those patient pills causes a big havoc. It's like, hey, my pill doesn't look the same, this changed, that changed, taking care. And what happens is, I've been here for so long, so they all know me. So if I tell them, no, it is the right thing, they take my word for it, saying, okay, it's the right thing. You don't have to worry about it. So
Yep.
that's my packaging service is one of my biggest plus point. I get a lot of patients coming in because of that, saying, like after having good relationship with my patients. Also, this service is like, one person talks to the other saying, hey, listen, I get my packages done at this pharmacy. They do it good. It's delivered every month at the same time, no questions asked. Don't have refills. They call the doctor's office on their end. So that's another way I get more patients come in, like, hey, listen. And most of them, those who actually need packaging, are like, they have multiple medications that they take. So
Yeah,
instead of when you have multiple patients, automatically goes up the volume.
absolutely. Do you do any like med to bed or long-term care services?
No, I try to. New Jersey is so much packed with pharmacies that everybody has their own. Each daycare and all these long-term cares, they have their own pharmacies. So it's kind of hard to get into it at this point.
Yeah,
Uh, but it's almost next to impossible.
gotcha. So primarily retail focused for the most part?
Yes, primarily I just focus on retails.
Yeah, absolutely. Amit's very
Something else,
retail focused as well.
something else that we guys are doing over
Yeah.
here is helping. I have a lot of patientele with opioid use. So I work with the mayor's office, and we guys have a plan for Suboxones where I try to deliver the medications on Suboxone deliveries within 90 minutes.
Wow.
So that's
Wow.
something I've focused on too.
Very cool. So what's kind of the one thing that you've done this last year, Bhavin, to create more innovation, or maybe you implemented some new strategies or processes in your pharmacy? What's kind of one thing that stood out to you this year that helped you to kind of either create more growth or provide better care or better services for your pharmacy?
Uh, I think this year we started working more on the prior authorizations. The prior authorizations that are required by the insurance companies. I think we guys are now pushing the doctor's office to help us out more to do those authorizations. Previously, before the COVID and all happened, prior authorization wasn't a big deal. Like, it happens, it happens, it doesn't happen. Most of the time, the doctors change the medication, but now we try to force the doctors to do those authorizations.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Gotcha.
think that increased a little bit more volume, in the past 1 year for us. So working more on those authorization, because what happens is it needs you tell the patient, hey, it needs an authorization. The patient doesn't take care of it. You don't take care of it, and that prescription is wasted. And then the
Yep.
health of is affected. At the end of the day, it's like, the health of the patient's affected. That's most important over here. So, we try to push on, the doctor's office and, hey, listen, get the authorization done. We'll help you do the authorizations. We fax you all the paperwork. All you have to do is just put in the diagnosis code and the, lab reports that you guys have, and it should be taken care of. Cover My Meds is one website that we use largely to do those authorizations.
Very good.
I feel like also, Bobbin, as pharmacists and pharmacy owners now, we have to take more of an initiative, right? That's the key, right? Is getting
I
ourselves and our staff. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, even after taking the initiative, what I feel is, these doctors' offices have multiple offices. So what happens
Right.
is you don't know where the doctor's office are. When you call them, they're like, "Oh, the doctor's not. I don't know what to do." So if you don't do
Right.
that today, suppose you get a prescription in today, you don't work on that authorization today. When you call them back tomorrow saying, "Hey, listen, this patient needs authorization," oh, it's not my patient. I don't know. It's from a different office. So
Right.
that
And ultimately, sorry, I was going to say, and ultimately, it comes down to the patient, right? It's about the patient. The patient needs that medication. So at the end of the day, for you and I, it's about, okay, what
the
is going to
patient,
get the patient their medication, right?
right, right, and the the field of pharmacy is changing so much that if you are for diabetes, and now it's also used for heart patients.
And I think also Bob, a lot of it has to do with our staff, right? How we're
Yeah,
training our staff to that's key. And actually, we can get into that, Jason, if it's okay. I'd love to ask you about your staff, Bob, and how you work with your staff, your relationship, and things that you do to nurture this this
honestly,
relationship.
I haven't changed my staff in a few years actually. I have a set of staff that's like been with us for almost like one staff has been with us for like 18 years, one's been here for 11 years, one's been here for like 5 years. So, we take care of the staff, we give them responsibility, what they need to do. They are clear. Okay, this is my job. Okay, I'm supposed to make this doctor's call. I'm supposed to do this. They know their job. As soon as they have the time, they make the job. So I am kind of a little bit relaxed at certain points saying, hey, listen, my staff does the job for me. All I have to do is just take care of my patients.
Right.
Makes a difference. A good staff definitely makes a difference. And I
Yeah.
can't come. I got a great staff here.
What, Bobbin, tell us a little bit about your schedule. Are you a full-time pharmacist in the pharmacy, or do you have other pharmacists that are working? Like, what's your schedule like? We always like to hear about kind of the work-life balance for each pharmacist.
Yeah, I don't think pharmacists have a work-life balance though. But I'm here 9 to 5 every day, 9 to 6 every day. I'm off every other Saturdays.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm pretty much here. But some days I have a second pharmacist who does part-time. That helps me do my office work that I'm supposed to do on a daily basis. But other than that, yeah, I have a staff pharmacist who's here part-time, like about 40, 50 hours bi-weekly.
Okay. Very good.
Other good thing which I forgot to mention, DMEs. I do a lot of DMEs.
Tell us a little bit more about that and what your
Yeah.
focus is around DMEs.
I don't like I have certain clientele who needs like the crutches, canes, legs, all these DME supplies. They have good reimbursements. At least compared to what we get on the medications, they have a better reimbursement rate. Before the insurance company catch up to that, I think it's a good thing that you can use that.
And what percentage of your patient clientele kind of focuses or is related to DME?
Uh, Maybe about 5%, 6%.
Okay.
But that 6% makes me a big difference.
Absolutely. Got to have multiple little revenue streams coming into the business, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You cannot depend just on giving out losartan and amlodipine at this point.
Yeah.
But
So tell us about the name of your pharmacy and how long you said it's been in operations for about 40 years?
yes, the owner before this also used to be a pharmacist, so he's been holding it for years. So that's one thing. And we guys occupied. My owner owned this. The current guy which I am with, he has it since 2000. I think 2001. I would say. So he's been owning this pharmacy for 22 years, 23 years now. Before that, used to be another owner who he bought it from. Also, so we haven't changed the name. It's called Williams Pharmacy.
Williams Pharmacy. Okay. Very good. And how many patients do you think you're currently serving per month right now?
I have no idea about that. I can't give a number on it. But on an average, I can tell you I do about these many prescriptions a day, about 300, 350, 400 prescriptions a day.
Okay. That's pretty
But
decent.
the number of patients that I have, it's kind of hard to keep a track of it.
Yeah. Yep. So what type of, do you have to do any marketing or do you do any marketing to attract new patients coming into you?
Not really. I don't do any kind of marketings.
Yeah.
Plain
So
and simple. Word of mouth spreads. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
I keep it
That's how
simple.
Amit used to be about 4 years ago, right, Amit?
Yeah, but for us during COVID, we basically, I'm sure, very, very similar situation. I noticed our volume was dropping quite a bit, and we were not getting paid. Obviously, patients were not coming in. So I was trying to figure out how can I get patients? How can I connect with them if they're not coming to the pharmacy? So that's kind of Jason came along, and we started getting into email marketing and just sort of customer patient engagement, which was huge for us. So yeah, Jason, that's kind of how we got started with everything.
Yep, absolutely. Looks like Bhavin's got to be in operations right now, taking a quick phone call. That happens from time to time, but you gotta kind of be in multiple places at once sometimes, right, Bhavin? Oh, you're muted. You're muted, Bhavin. Not sure if he can hear us. You're muted. You're you're muted.
Allow me to mute.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You're
I'm sorry.
good.
I forgot about I did put you guys on mute. Is this going to be like an every Friday thing? Because I have to actually go now. I have patients waiting. I don't
Yeah,
have
no,
a.
absolutely. We welcome pharmacists to join us every Friday. Obviously, we appreciate your time and wanted to highlight you and your independent pharmacy. So thank you for joining us today.
No problem. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right. Take
Okay, great
care.
to meet you.
Nice meeting you, Amit. I'll talk to you soon, guys.
All right. Take
Thanks,
care.
Bhavin.
Bye. All right. So Amit, that was interesting. So Bhavin is again kind of very similar to you, focused on retail pharmacy, on the opposite side of the US, obviously, and has different regulations, different challenges, but a lot of similarities across most pharmacists, right? A lot of similar challenges that they face.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting. Demographically, quite opposite spectrums right of the country, but it's a very similar. As a matter of fact, it's a almost a carbon copy in terms of volume back here.
There we go.
Give you guys 1 second.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry, in terms of volume wise, very similar demographics. I mean, literally side by side. But interesting enough is that the models are the same, right? For independent pharmacies, the models are identical. It's the staff relationship, it's a reputation. It's so fascinating how they're literally side by side, but they're all the same business models. And I think the customer engagement's huge, right? Which
Yep.
would be huge.
Yeah. I mean, he mentioned DMEs as a revenue stream for him. How has DMEs played a factor for Avalon, if any, in your pharmacy?
Yeah, no, we do a little bit of DMEs, not quite a huge amount, but I think DMEs are fantastic. It's a fantastic resource outside of prescriptions, right? Which is great because you have the crutches, the canes, the walkers, all sorts of niche items which you can't provide in a big box retail pharmacy, or they do, or they don't have the time. That's huge. We have an independent pharmacy. You have the staff, you have the pharmacist itself who can take the time, because that type of like those type of ticket items take time, a little bit of time on our part to talk to the patients. And Mrs. Jones won't call into a big box retail pharmacy and say, I need this, but she can speak to a pharmacist and they can have that intimate conversation. So I think that's huge. I think another thing you really talked about, which is so huge, is relationships. And we didn't mention is reputation. Huge. It goes without saying for pharmacists, independent pharmacists. See, a lot of times with big box retail pharmacies, you mentioned the pharmacists, they change, they float them. So on Monday, pharmacist A is there, on Tuesday, pharmacist B. So there's no continuity. But with independent pharmacies, the same pharmacist is there for the most part, maybe not every day, but enough so they have that reputation, have that relationship. I think if you can build that relationship over time, Bobbin's had a few years under his belt already, but at the same time, I think 10 plus years he's close to, and I'm done 25 years, and those relationships stick and they stay and they change. So it's such a great validation to see another independent pharmacy, a model very similar, but it all comes back to relationships and reputation. Huge.
Yep. Yeah, and staffing was a big one he talked about, having 18 years. And I know you this due to, attract people like Bhavin to help support them in their business.
Yeah, 100% JB. And something very interesting is now with the cost of tuition in obviously graduate school and undergrad, the finances aren't always there. So a lot of times pharmacists have to go on board and do that program of working towards it. But the beautiful thing in that is you can learn the business as you're moving along, and you can buy equity into the pharmacy. I think back, I'm dating myself here, but 25 years ago, valuations were different. So it was a little bit easier to get into the business and build it up. Now, if you're taking over existing business, it has equity in it. So I think it's just a great way, and a way to teach students that are graduating from school is you can get into independent pharmacy business by just building equity. And actually, it's a great stepping stone to learning the business, to see whether or not it's for you before you invest the money. And that's huge, right? Nothing's worse than investing a large chunk of money, realizing this may not be for you, or this business model, this demographics. So you get a good feel for what you're getting into.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost like the internship that's needed to get you to have ownership, right? Like you gotta go through the hoops, and you gotta put the time and the work and the effort in.
100%. And it comes down to everything we've talked about. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes learning the business, but it takes surrounding yourself with people who have been there and done that, and you learn from them. So many, I mean, I've been in this for a little bit longer, but just hearing Bob's story, I can take away a few nuggets of wisdom. So we all have something to share, which I think is great.
Yep. Awesome. Well, I know we could talk for hours on pharmacy, independent pharmacy, strategies of growth and mindset. I'd love for us to kind of wrap up today's session and episode. And so if you're an independent pharmacist and you want to learn how you can create more growth, more efficiency, learn about new softwares and technology, learn about marketing strategies to attract new patients and customers to your pharmacy. Amit and I host a weekly sessions every week where we train, coach independent pharmacies on how to create growth and efficiency by leveraging sales and marketing automation software. So if you're a pharmacist who's interested and you want to register to apply, you can go to rxambassadors.com. Just click that webinar registration button, put in your information, and Amit and I would love to see you on one of our next trainings. You also can text the word ebook, that is EBOOK, to the phone number 602-878-6007. When you text that number, text ebook to 602-878-6007, you'll also get some of Amit's top sales and marketing automation strategies that he's implemented in his independent pharmacy to create more growth and efficiency and to increase his patient count and RX count. So with that, we're going to go ahead and conclude today's episode. Amit, always a pleasure. Looking forward to next Friday to where we can interview the next pharmacist and learn more about their challenges, their successes. So with that, thank you so much for tuning in and joining us today. And Amit, we'll catch up soon.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, as always.
All right. Take care.